welcome back. If you're new around here, I'm Lydia.
I'm Dan.
And we do weekly lifestyle vlogs. Dan had an operation last week, so we have decided, seeing as our channel has also got quite a lot of Disney content, that we are going to do a little Q&A. Sorry if you can hear noises about of fans in the background. It is like mega hot in the UK the last couple of weeks, and we are suffering, so we cannot switch them off. I'm sorry. But yeah, I went to my business Instagram, which is Mermaid Handmade Treasures, and asked you guys to ask us some questions to answer. So we've picked okay, Pop.
How are you?
I have picked 20 questions that we will answer, and if it goes down well, maybe we could do these like every other month or something, but just see how it goes, I guess. Do you want to hold this as soon as I've got the dog?
So question one is, how did you and Dan meet and how long have you been together? So we've been together give or take about 9 years now.
Yeah, nearly 9 years.
Married for 5 years. We actually met online, so it was through Facebook. We both got quite a few tattoos, and Lydia just so happens to post a picture of a tattoo she recently had done on a tattoo forum that we were both on. I like the tattoo, so I thought, add friends.
It was at that time where like you just added
anybody and
everybody that added you on Facebook. You weren't quite as selective.
So yeah, about 6 weeks or so went past, and we didn't actually speak to each other.
We didn't talk or anything.
No.
It was like the occasional like or yeah.
And then one day you'd had a really tough day at work, hadn't you? Decided.
Yeah, I was PMSing. I'd had a really bad day at work, and I came home and hated everyone and its dog. And I decided to have a massive Facebook clear out. Yeah.
And at the time I was between jobs, so I had a lot of spare time on my hands, and like any old sort of 19, 20-year-old used to spend a lot of it on Facebook. So it just so happened that I was online at exactly the same time, and I get a little chat window pop up from Miss Lydia Churgwin.
In a bad mood.
Yeah, sorry, in a really bad mood, had a really tough day at work, but I'm having a massive friend clear out. I don't know who you are. Give me one reason why I should delete you.
It was basically, do I know you? If not, really sorry, but you're going to have to go. And we got chatting, didn't we? And we spoke for like about 4 hours.
Yeah. And then just carried on talking from there for probably a good 2 or 3 months. And obviously the talk started going from friendly to a bit more flirty and that. And then I started going for a bit of a tough time because I was struggling to find a new job and that, and you just said, look, if you want to get away from it, because I was living in Kent at the time, you were down in Bude in Cornwall.
I was down in Devon, Cornwall area, yeah.
So you said, if you want to get away for a bit, you drive, come stay with me. It'd just be friends, completely platonic, crash on my sofa, I live by the beach, just see her.
Yeah, I'll ask my mum, see if you can crash on the sofa, come and stay for a weekend. And you did.
Yep.
And then that weekend turned into 2 extra days because I didn't want you to leave.
Well, and the last day I said, the day that I was supposed to originally go home, I said to you, I don't want to leave. And you were like,
oh no, let's do it the cute way. What happened was, we were in a pub and there was a live band playing and it was really, really noisy. And he wrote on his phone, I wrote on my phone and showed him the message saying, I don't want you to go home. And he wrote a message back saying, I don't want to go home. So I was sat next to my mum as well and said, can you stay an extra couple of days? And my mum was like, yeah, that's fine. And I looked over at him and was about to write, like, you can stay a couple of extra days if you want. And he messaged me again, wrote on his phone and said, no, I don't ever want to go home. And that's what I said. And that was it. And you went home the next day.
Yeah, that was early November, mid-November.
Yeah. mid-November time.
And then December 28th that year.
Yeah, like 3 weeks later.
Yeah. Basically, I spent the last Christmas with my family, packed my bags and moved down.
He literally came in a car.
Yep,
full
packed
of
everything
stuff.
I owned in my car. That was it.
And like, yeah, 3-4 weeks later you moved down, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, luckily as well, your employer was looking for somebody else.
Yeah.
So you put in a good word for me, so I had a job to move down to.
Yeah, the lady I was working for needed an extra hand, and
I had a sofa I could crash on until
we found somewhere.
Yep.
So you were kind of staying there for a few months as well, and then we found our own first little place, didn't we? And
haven't looked back since, have we? The rest is history.
We got together. Yeah, that was nearly 9 years ago.
Crazy.
And now we've got a little doggy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been married for nearly 5. We got married
5 years in September.
Yeah, September the 27th, 2013. Unlucky for some. Next question.
Is your partner also a Disney fan, or have you coerced him into it?
Yeah, so it was on my business page. So one of my friends said, "Is your partner?" So she means you.
Yeah.
Are you a Disney fan, or
So-
did I force you into it, basically?
No, I've always loved Disney. Like, some of my earliest memories are me spending weekends staying at my nan's, watching original Disney cartoons on VHS. And this is from like 4 or 5 years old. For the youngsters watching, a VHS is like a DVD, but not quite the same. But, yeah, so I've always been a closet Disney fan. I actually prefer Pixar over traditional Disney, just because I prefer the animation rather than the hand-drawn stuff. I think it's much more impressive. No disrespect to the original stuff, it's
You
obviously
prefer
brilliant.
like Toy Story, that
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of like animated.
Yeah, but I've always been a Disney fan. It's just I was never as out and open about it.
And the last few years, we've started being a bit more open about it, haven't we?
Yeah.
Like we've got like decorations around our house, and
We've always had like a reasonably good Disney DVD collection, and you know, the odd ornament or whatever. But
yeah.
then things like this happened and this.
So yeah,
this.
I didn't coerce him into it. No, like even if I was with a bloke who didn't like Disney, I would still be
That.
the massive Disney fan that I am. Ting!
I think it's just Lydia's made me more comfortable to enjoy my life at Disney. That's all it is.
Yeah, seriously.
Question 3.
If you could plan your dream Disney trip, what would it be, like, and where? Our current dream Disney trip is Florida.
Yeah.
Neither of us have been to Walt Disney World. Dan hasn't been to America.
We've only both ever been to Paris. That's the only part we've both ever been to.
Yeah. Oh no, I went to Disney California when I was a lot younger, and we didn't stay for very long. We only went there for like half a day, and I didn't go on any rides or meet any characters or anything, so I didn't really count it. So I'd say Paris is the only park that I've been to, if you know what I mean. So yeah, currently dream trip Florida. I would love to stay anywhere in Florida. I would like to either stay in the Art and Animation Resort with, but specifically in the Little Mermaid area, obviously. Or I would dream trip would be either Animal Kingdom, like in the Animal Kingdom Lodge, where the giraffes come to you, like when you're eating your breakfast and stuff, or the Polynesian Resort, because I love Lilo and Stitch. You would like to stay in a villa?
Yeah, ideally I would rather stay in a villa, just simply because you've then got your own space to go back to. So from what I've seen of Florida, it is massive compared to Paris, and you get overwhelmed quite easily, don't you, with your anxiety and things like that. So I just think
I have quite bad social anxiety. In Disney, for some reason, it's just not as bad. I think it's because everyone else there is focusing on having their own good time, and they don't really care, so I don't feel like I'm being looked at, or I don't know, maybe I could do another video about that, but Yeah, it would be quite overwhelming, especially because we've never been there before, and
No,
there's
exactly,
4
yeah.
parks.
Yeah. And I mean, landmass, I heard somewhere that the Disney park has the same landmass area, if you include all the sort of restaurant areas and springs and things like that, all the surrounding parts of it, same landmass as San Francisco. So it's massive, it's absolutely huge. So I think to have your own villa outside of all that just gives you your own space just to go back to. From what I've seen, a lot of villas have their own pools and outdoor barbecues, things like that. So you just at the end of the day or during the middle of the day if it gets too hot,
Yeah.
you just got your own space to then go back to, chill out, recharge the batteries,
Yeah.
back on it. Sorry, what?
I think because it is a dream trip, where it is, for us as a family at the moment, it's quite expensive, you know, not gonna lie. If we were to go there, we would only think to ourselves, like,
2 weeks minimum.
it would, no, what I mean is, for us it would be a once in a lifetime
yeah.
trip. So when we go to Paris, where it's like, oh, you know, next year, or maybe we could come back in a couple of years, or because that is like achievable for us as a family financially. But where Orlando is so big and quite pricey, all the flights and things like that, I think the first time we did it, we would have to do it with a bang. So
Yeah.
I think we would, if we were going to fork out all that money to go there, I think we would stay on site for the first time.
Or maybe split it. Maybe
Yeah, split it.
do a week on site, a week off site, or something like that.
Yeah.
'Cause we probably need to hire a car whilst we're out there anyway, just because of travelling to things is so far apart.
And my, like, disability.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we would have the option of where do we want to stay as opposed to where do we need to stay.
Yeah. Oh, question. If anyone else has been to Florida, the Walt Disney World, and have got a disability / illness that enables you to have the equivalent of the priority pass in Paris, could you let me know, like, how they, like, what's the difference? Are they quite similar? Like,
How does it work?
yeah, just how does it work? Because it's something that we are looking into for maybe in like a few years' time, and it would just be interesting to know, like, how it differs with the access cards in Paris. But
Yeah.
anyway, dream trip, Florida.
Okay, so next question. If you could live anywhere else in the world, where would it be and why?
Mine
Let me
would be
start.
America.
What part of America?
Either what was the place?
California,
No, the other places.
San Diego.
Yeah, I would like
San
to live
Diego's
in
in
like.
California.
Oh, okay. I'd like to live in California, San Diego area, somewhere where it's warm but not too humid, like Florida.
Illness-wise, you cope better in the heat, don't you?
Yeah, somewhere where it's warm and not too humid. Illness-wise and pain and fatigue-wise, is my optimum temperature, as long as it's not too humid. So yeah, maybe somewhere like San Diego, somewhere like that. Where would you like to live?
Tokyo, 100%. Mainly because I have a passion for 90s Japanese cars. And the best place to get them, Tokyo. And drifting.
Yeah, I would find Tokyo way too busy for
Oh
me.
yeah.
I would love to visit there, but I think it would be a very, very overwhelming trip, and I would need to go when I've got my anxiety like under control and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, don't
I'd
get me wrong,
love
if given
to
a choice, I
visit.
probably wouldn't pack my bags and go there tomorrow.
I'd love to visit Tokyo Disney because their like theming and stuff just looks completely out of this world.
On a weekday though.
Yeah, but on a weekday. Wow, we've been recently watching Alan Are Dreaming
Yep.
and
Christy
Christy Smalls vlogs, and wow, I couldn't even get past the queues at the weekend.
I mean, some of the queues for just to get onto like basic rides were
Like, It's a Small
200
World.
plus minutes.
Oh my god, but yeah. So yeah, I would like to live maybe in somewhere California, like near the sea, near the beach, but in the city at the same time. And you'd like to live in Tokyo.
Yeah. I think Tokyo would just be, if I was to move there, I don't think it would be a permanent move. It would be, live there for a couple of years, fill out my fantasies and then move on again. But I think actually, yeah, you're right, California or somewhere like that, somewhere on the coast where it's nice weather all year round actually.
Yeah.
I probably could see myself settling.
Next question is, how long have you been running Mermaid Handmade Treasures? How did you get into it, and like what inspired you to set it up? So about 3 years ago, I was forced medically basically to leave work. I just couldn't handle it anymore. And then about 6-7 months later, I just got really bored, and although I'm very grateful that I don't have to go and have a full-time job with my health the way it is, I needed a sense of purpose. I've always been quite crafty and like doing things with my hands and painting, colouring, textiles, that sort of thing. And so one day we just started watching like make your own ... on YouTube videos, didn't we?
Yeah, so I just basically said to you, well, why didn't you use that to advantage and just start making things?
Yeah, and we found like DIYs of how to do like Mickey ears and like the phone cases, and the phone cases really appealed to me, but not necessarily in the style or the themes that I wanted to do my own in. So I kind of tweaked it, played around with some ideas and like different materials, and found my own way of doing things, and ended up started making these Disney phone cases. I made my first sale when I had 53 followers on my little business Instagram, and it's kind of gone a bit mental.
Yeah.
I've got I hit 3,000 followers the other day, which was like a massive, exciting time for me. And now obviously I don't just make the phone cases, I make the frames and the pins and my ears. And I really like, my little collection of things that I make. I'm not so busy that I have to spend my whole life doing it, but then I feel like I've still got a purpose, and the money that I bring in from it enables us just to have fun and do things that we enjoy and have little treats every now and again. And so if you've ever bought from me, thank you very much. We very much appreciate it.
Right, next page. What's your favourite item to make in Mermaid Handmade Treasures, and why?
The phone cases, simply because there's so much variety. Like, I like it when people send me an idea. So for instance, the other day I had a lady who wanted a case but with 3 different sets of like Disney couples on it, so they're not from the same film, so you have to try and make pictures of them kind of match and colour themes that match it and things like that. And I like just making things that maybe shouldn't be together like look nice. So definitely phone cases, but just simply because of the variety.
So side question to that then, do you prefer it when you're given free rein or when somebody's got a set idea?
Free rein.
Yeah?
Yeah. When people say to me, I want this character, and this character, these are the colours I like, this is the phone I have, go for it. They are my favourite orders. Like, I'm like, ooh, and they get me really excited, and I like to play around and see like what I can put with what and stuff like that. So definitely free rein cases are my favourite. Not to say that I don't enjoy it when people tell me exactly what they want, but I like to be able to give people the element of surprise as well, like with the finished product. So definitely free rein. Yes.
So next question is favourite Disney movie for both of us. So what would you say is your favourite all-time Disney film?
All time, The Little Mermaid, closely followed by Tangled. Like very closely followed by Tangled.
See, mine changes between 3 films on a regular basis. So
Toy
I'm
Story.
going to say, yeah, I don't really have a favourite film. I have 3 favourite films, which are Toy Story 1, WALL-E and Ratatouille.
Yeah. If you're allowed 3, then my third one is Moana. It's quite a new one still, but it definitely went quite high up in my ranks.
But would you put that on a par with Little Mermaid?
No. No.
Would you put Tangled on a par with Little Mermaid?
Yeah. Yeah.
So next question is favourite character meet and why? So I'll start this one off. I'm actually not a massive fan of the character meets. I don't mind having a picture with them. I don't necessarily find it cringy, I just find it a little bit awkward. I'm not really one for like standing there and be like, hi Goofy, how you doing, you having a good day? Not about that. I just kind of go in, shake my hand, have the picture taken.
You'll give him a hug, won't you?
Yeah.
He's usually my autograph book holder. Like
Yeah.
he'll get the signatures for me whilst I get really excited and
Yeah.
do the rest of the stuff.
What I like is to see your interaction with them.
Yeah, I get way into it. Like, I love it.
Yeah, I like, using my phone or camera, whatever, to try and take pictures of that, or little video clips and things like that. That's what I like. So for me personally, I don't have a favourite character to meet. Out of the characters that I have met so far, I would probably say Darth Vader was the best one, simply because he doesn't talk.
And you're
Yeah.
a massive Star Wars fan.
Huge Star Wars fan, yeah. So that's my answer.
Darth Vader was intimidating as heck. Like, here's me wheeling in on my mobility scooter, and he comes out and goes, and I was like, okay. But it was fun. It was a good meet. My favourite, I'm gonna have to say 2 for 2 different reasons. One of my favourites is Donald Duck, simply because he was the first character that I met.
And an absolute gent as well.
And he's such a gent. Every time the first time we saw him, I was in my wheelchair rather than a mobility scooter, and I had my stick. And he turned around and he came over to my wheelchair.
Yeah, you can see that you were able to get up and out of it.
And he helped me out of my wheelchair and pulled me over to the where the camera was, and held my stick for me.
Gave you his arm.
Gave me his arm and stuff, and it was really, really lovely. And so I have really good memories of that because he was my first character to meet. And now when we go to see him, we always have really good banter because I say that I love him more than I love Dan, and that always has a funny reaction. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm 28 years old this year, and I completely fangirled, almost to the point where I started crying when I met the Little Mermaid. We saw Ariel. We were about to go from the main park in Paris to Studios to go and meet Buzz Lightyear for you.
Yeah.
This was on our first trip together to Paris, and so here's Dan wheeling me at top speed to try and get. It was on our last day. We had to try and get up to the Walt Disney Studios to meet Buzz Lightyear, and then we were going to go and see the car show, and we had to go. It was our last couple of hours, and he was racing past, and I went because I saw Ariel come out, and he was such a gent.
Yeah.
He passed seeing Buzz so that there was no slots left for our priority card. But the bloke said, if you quickly go to the end now, the queue has been shut off. But if you quickly run to the end now and you don't mind waiting, I'll let you meet her. You can be the last person to meet her.
I think probably what swung it as well is that I was learning to speak French. So I did slide in a couple of little French phrases, which impressed him.
And so yeah, we went to the end of the queue. Got an itchy ear. Went to the end of the queue and got to meet the girl herself, the Little Mermaid, And she was impressed with the phone case because I had a Little Mermaid phone case that I had made, and she liked the top that I had on, and we just had really
and I
good.
think you had. Did you have those ears?
No, because it was
not
before
made
I'd
those yet?
made them.
Okay.
We just had like a really good interaction. It was really fun, and like then us walking up to the studios part to go and see the car show because we had missed the Buzz meet and greet. I was sat there in my chair and Dan kept going, "Are you alright?"
But yeah, I think we've got some pictures of you meeting Ariel somewhere, so if I can find them, yeah, I'll insert them now. Next question. So, favourite Disney rides and why?
God, we speak about this so often.
Probably at least once a week.
At least once a week. And so basically what we've decided to do is, because they change quite regularly, we have a top 3 in each park in Paris. So
that's the main park and studios.
And there's top 3 each. So you can go first.
Okay, so in the main park, my top 3 are the Buzz Lightyear.
Laser Blast.
Yep. Star Tours. And Big Thunder Mountain. Reason being those 3 is because, well, Toy Story, simple. Absolutely love it.
And it's one of the first rides we ever went on together. I think it was.
Yeah.
Apart from Small World. Because that's our Disney tradition.
Yeah, Disney tradition is Small World is always first ride. It has to be. If you don't do it, what are you doing? You're just not Disneying properly, are you really? Star Tours, again, self-explanatory. I mean, I love Star Wars, so yeah.
It's actually a really cool ride as well. And I like that it's different each time you go on it.
Yeah, so I think there's about 4 or 5, I'm not sure exactly how many, but there's different scenes, but also they play in different orders. So there's quite a few different combinations of how many rides you can actually experience. So we've only actually done it, what, like 3 times?
I've only been on Star Tours once because I sat outside with Harry, my little brother, who wasn't old enough to go on it. So the other times that you went on it, I sat outside with Harry.
The first time we went, it was still being built.
Yeah, it wasn't open.
And then last year,
you and me went on it.
Yeah. Then.
Oh no, I've been on it twice because
we
then
took
you
Ella
and Ella went on it.
And then I went on with your mum, Mike, and Ella.
And I sat outside with Harry. Ella and Harry, if you haven't watched any of our other vlogs or videos, are my little brother and sister.
Yeah.
They're quite a lot littler than me.
So, yeah, Star Tours, obviously self-explanatory. I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that it's very difficult to ride the same ride twice with that one. Although obviously it is quite similar, it's a simulator with a 3D vision. The sort of storyline can change quite a bit on them. So that's why I like that one.
Big Thunder.
Yeah, and the fact that I've got a basic understanding of French is actually, if you do speak a little bit of French, there's quite a lot of comedy in it. It's actually quite funny. Yeah, and Big Thunder is just, I like the fact that it
wasn't open the first time we went.
Yeah.
Big Thunder.
It's a good fast roller coaster without being over the top. I personally have got no problem with being thrown upside down, twisters, whatever, but you don't like that, yeah. So it's a good fast roller coaster that we can both enjoy together.
I like roller coasters and things like that, but I don't go on any that tip you upside down, simply because they put me in too much pain. But what are your top 3 in studios? So
in studios, top 3 would have to be Ratatouille, definitely number 1. Absolutely love that ride. Just because of how immersive it is. So it's not just everything you can see with the 3D glasses, but like, they blast smells at you when you go under the cook on the fire comes up, you can actually feel the heat coming from it. It's such an immersive ride, and I think it's so clever.
It is really clever.
And the way that it makes you feel small as well, I think it's really, really clever.
Yeah.
Other two, I would have to say Tower of Terror. Now, I've only actually ridden this ride once. I've wanted to do it before, but I've never been able to find anyone that I'd do it with.
I don't. Every time we go, I'm always like, I'm going to give it a try, but I have never been on it, and I never want to.
Now, the reason for that isn't necessarily because I enjoyed the ride, because if I'm honest, it terrified the life out of me. I will do it again, because I'm sick in the head like that. But what I love the most is my ride companions for the action. So I went on with your mum. And your mum doesn't particularly like elevators to start off with.
My mum hates lifts. They're like her worst nightmare anyway.
And I kind of sold it to her that, yeah, you'll be fine, it's sat down in a chair, it just goes up and down a little bit, that's all. She punched me when we got off it.
Yeah.
Properly punched, yeah. Not just a little gentle like, haha, that was fun, Dan. Like, no, she punched me in the arm.
We've got the ride photo, we have to insert it if we can. It's hilarious. My mum won't mind either. She's got it on her fridge. She hated that ride so much that me and Dan found a magnet saying, I survived the Hollywood Hotel Tower.
She was genuinely trembling at the end of it.
She had to sit down when she came off the ride for like a good 15 minutes before we could move on. And then we had to go and get an ice lolly to sort of like raise her sugar levels because she was like this. But she wants to do it again this year.
Well,
she does.
I've tried convincing her. It changes. I've got one more, yeah?
One more.
Okay. Third ride from Studios.
Crash?
Yeah, I didn't think of Crush. Yeah, definitely Crush. Just because, again, it's a wicked ride. And it's much faster than... it's much faster than Big Thunder is.
Yeah.
And it chucks you around a lot more. And I like the fact that it's dark in some places where you don't know where you're going.
No, you don't.
So yeah, they're my rides.
My top 3 in Studios are Crush's Coaster. I hate it. Every time we get off it I go, oh, I feel really sick, but it's so much fun. It's one of the rides though that I would say if you're a bigger person, think twice about it, because when I sit down, the chair is like a turtle shell if you haven't been on it, and you have to have your legs quite high up to your chest. So I've got quite a big lass, I've got quite a big belly, quite big boobs. So when obviously I'm pulling my knees up quite close to my chest, it all kind of rolls together. And then when you have to pull the barrier down on that, the first time I went on it, the bloke said, breathe in, and then when I breathed in, he shoved it down. So all the way around Crush's Coaster, I had to breathe in so I could breathe properly. So when I got off, I was like, that was really fun, but I feel really sick. But it is a really good ride, and I love people's reactions on it as well. So I would say Crush's Coaster. Definitely Ratatouille for the same reasons as Dan. And I like Slinky Dog. I know it's a children's roller coaster, but I do really like the Slinky Dog.
It's deceivingly quick as well.
It's deceivingly fast, and it was hilarious.
Pick your seating positions wisely.
The first time we went on it, I sat on the...
What would be the inside?
The inside.
So you got on it first.
Yeah, and what we didn't
Because I'm a gent, I let you on first.
What we didn't realise is that as you go around, the person on the inside of the roller coaster
inertia kicks in.
Kind of slides to the outside. So by the end of the roller coaster, I was like squashing Dan right up against the outside, and it's pretty funny. So they're my top 3 in studios. Main park, favourite rides would be Big Thunder, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, I missed that one.
Love Pirates. It's such. I'm one for a log flume. I love a log flume. I love that if you haven't been on it before, you don't know where the drops are, and I like all the animatronics, especially since they've redone it. And thirdly, probably Buzz as well, actually. Between Buzz and Star Tours. Next question is favourite character. So not character meet, but just character in general, for both of us. My overall favourite character is probably Flounder. But favourite princesses, again, very close call between Ariel and Pansy.
I, again, probably don't have a single favourite character.
Buzz and Woody.
Yeah, Buzz and Woody, Wally,
Remy. Yeah.
Obviously the main man himself, Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse.
I'm quite a big fan of Max. Obviously, Goofy's
and
son.
Max. Yeah, I like Daisy Duck as well because she's so sassy. She's a fun one to meet if you haven't ever met her before as well.
And she smells wonderful.
Yeah, always smells incredible. And Minnie smells incredible.
So yeah, I don't think I really have a favourite character, but
I think if you're a true Disney lover, you don't have one favourite.
No.
As much as if someone says to you, what's your favourite Disney character, you'd say it, but in the back of your head you're like, oh, but I also really like, oh, but I also
this one,
really
this
like,
one, this one,
oh, but
this
what
one.
about, yeah, so. Top 3 for me would be Flounder, Ariel and Pansy.
I suppose if I was to pick between sort of the original game, I'd pick Goofy.
Original gang for me
Mickey,
is
Minnie,
Donald.
Daisy.
Original gang, Donald for me. My mum, fun fact, favourite of the original 5 is Pluto. She absolutely adores Pluto.
So next question is favourite Disney trip memory. And this is a question for both of us. I'll let you go first.
I've got 2. I think firstly would be just walking into Disneyland Paris for the first time with you when we went just us 2. Simply because it was a surprise. Dan booked the holiday without me knowing, because he knew that I always wanted to go. And we also waited for a long time for the trip to come around, so when it actually did come around and we got there, it was just like really magical. You know the feeling. And another really special moment for me was last year when we took my mum, Mike, her partner and 2 kids, my little brother and sister, Ella and Harry. For the whole of the holiday, the kids were quite unsure about meeting the characters. I think my little sister was at the age, she was 7 when we went. She was kind of playing I'm too cool to meet the characters, because she was fine when she met Darth Vader, but the rest of the characters she was like, no, I don't want to meet them, no. But we didn't kind of go, come on, we didn't push them into meeting them because we're not that sort of people. If they didn't want to meet them, they didn't want to meet them. But on the last day, our last full day I think it was, we went into the park for extra magic hours and met some of the originals that were on Main Street, and I really wanted to meet Chip and Dale because I hadn't met them yet. And so we went round to the side bit of the queue and gave the lady our priority cards and said, can we meet them? And she said, how many is there of you? And we said, oh, it's just the 4 adults because the kids don't want to meet them. And then me and Dan met them, and then my mum and Mike went to have their photo taken. with them whilst we stood next to the kids. And then out of nowhere, my little brother got out of his, he was so tired, he was in a pushchair because he doesn't need it all the time, but he was so exhausted from a week at Disneyland Paris.
They took it as well for like somewhere to put bags and things like that.
Yeah, he was just sat like on the foot plate bit of the pushchair. He stood up and he walked right over to Dale and gave him a massive hug, and I managed to get it on camera of him hugging him. I think I managed to get like a boomerang because I just quickly did this on my phone and brought up as the camera as quickly as I could. And I think it came up with Instagram, so I just used whatever feature I could to grab it because I knew he wouldn't do it again. And he went over and they bent down and had like a really special, and for us it was a really special little moment because my brother and sister, they're adopted, and they're not very confident with things like that and new people. No. So for Harry to do that, it was such a special moment, and literally all 4 adults, me, Dan, Mike and my mum, we all sort of melted a bit inside because for the whole holiday we were like, do you want to meet so-and-so? What about so-and-so? What character would you like to meet? But they just chickened out of all of them, didn't they?
Yeah.
But then at the end, when he met one of the chipmunks, it was just so magical, and it just really made my whole holiday. So they're my 2 favourite memories.
So for me, I think again I've got 2. So the first one was from our first trip when we were watching Dreams and the Rapunzel song come on.
Started crying.
Started crying. I think it was just the fact that you'd had, we're coming towards the end of our trip because we only did
5 days.
4 days, weren't it? 5 nights.
Yeah.
No, 4 nights. Yeah, no, 5 days. Yeah, 4 nights, 5 days.
Yeah.
So we didn't do like a whole 4 week stay because again with Lydia's anxieties now, I didn't want to push her to stay too long because I didn't know how well she'd cope. So we'd come into the end of our trip. We decided we'd watch the Illumination show again, and the Rapunzel bit come on.
Dreams.
Yeah, well the Illumination show, but yeah, Dreams. And yeah, you just started crying, and I looked down at you. I was like, "Are you alright?"
It was just really magical.
Just that's the most amazing time.
Sorry, it's my alarm for tapping.
Yeah, so that's the first one, and then the second one is again from last year, and it was the day that we got there. We'd booked the worst hotel possible for the night before. We'd had yeah, thanks. We'd had a really, really long drive because we always drive over. We don't fly or get the train or anything, so that we've got the cars, so that we can drive in and out of the parks. So we do scooter and things like that. It was just easier for us. So we'd had a long drive from the UK all the way over to Disney. It took a while to get us checked in because we got there too early. Obviously, you can't check in until 3 o'clock. So we'd finally got everything.
We stayed in Davy Crockett.
Yeah. Finally got everything unpacked and everything, and we decided, right, well, we've still got quite a few hours of park time left. Obviously, we paid for that day's tickets, so we decided we'd go to the park. And Lydia's mum, her partner, had never left the country before, and obviously the 2 kids had never been to Disney. And although
it was their first family holiday as well.
And we booked the whole thing as well. Almost the whole thing was their birthdays and Christmas presents
for the next year.
Yeah, so the whole trip was kind of our present to them anyway. So my memory from that trip was the first time that we ever went into the park, even though we were all completely shattered, was just seeing how happy everyone was once we got through the gates. And not just that, but Ella, once we got through and she saw the castle, she had like this little child's like Fisher Price, whatever it is, like little kiddie camera. And as soon as she saw the castle, the first thing she did was picked up the camera and took a picture of it. I just thought that was amazing.
Yeah, she's got one of those like kiddie zoom cameras that if you drop, they don't break, they're like rubberized around the side. she'd been taking pictures of like the Channel Tunnel and Welcome to France and all these boring photos, and then she took a picture of the castle, didn't she?
Yeah, that's my second memory. Seeing how happy,
Yeah,
knowing
really
that
good.
we'd provided that for them.
Yeah.
Right, favourite non-Disney movie? I don't think that's very fair, is it? It's a Disney Q&A.
It's not a very fair question. I don't really have one. I'm not really a big non-Disney movie fan.
I would probably say, I know obviously Disney now owns the rights to it, but Star Wars or any Fast and Furious film for me.
Oh yeah, yeah, you like them, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm not a big non-Disney person.
Not even like Bridget Jones or some chick flick like that.
No. I quite like the one where she has that brain injury.
Oh, 50 First Dates.
Quite like 50 First Dates, that's quite a good film. I'm quite a big fan of,
Couples Retreat we like.
yeah, I'm a big fan of him. What's his name?
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler. Anything, for me, anything with Adam Sandler in it is a go. I love Adam Sandler. He's funny.
So any Disney trip tips?
Tons. Stay hydrated. Make use of the water fountains. Like take your own bottle and refill them, because it's a lot cheaper than buying €3 for a bottle of water.
The best ones that we found to refill your water bottles in are, there's one as you are walking in through the...
As you go through to Adventureland under the
No, even before
Aladdin
that, before you
bit.
come into the park, when you're heading towards the water fountains, if you sort of bear right,
Oh yeah.
there's one just round there.
One just around there. There's one as you go through to Adventureland under the like Aladdin
Yeah,
bit,
near where the toilets are.
next to toilets. And then there's some down by Pirates of the Caribbean as well.
Yeah, and by Big Thunder, next to the Mexican place that sells churros.
The place that's now like
Coco
Coco
things.
restaurant, yeah. But yeah, stay hydrated. Have snacks, because if you get hungry, which happens very quickly, and also have a plan.
Yeah.
Maybe not like regimented
yeah.
to the minute, but you know,
A rough idea of what direction you want your day to go into.
Yeah, like so and so's doing a meet and greet at this time, and then we also want to meet this person who's in this land, but we want to do that ride that's also in that land, so we can go and do that. So make like a little bit of a plan. I would say as well, if you are a blue badge holder in the UK, or you have an illness that enables you to have a green priority card in Paris, I don't know what they're called over in America, I think they're called access cards, get it.
Yeah, don't feel bad about it
No.
either.
Don't feel like, oh, I'm not ill enough to have one of these, or I haven't got the right conditions to have one of these. Don't feel anxious about going to get one either, which I know saying to someone with anxiety, don't be anxious to go and do this, is hard, but it's really not a big deal. Go into the City Hall, say, can I please have a disabled pass or a green priority pass? They fill in a little form. They either ask you questions or they usually give it to you just to tick. There's like little tick lists, and then they photocopy your blue badge or
Yeah,
your
that's
proof.
one thing, you do have to take the blue badge in with you. You can't just say I've got one.
Or your proof, so you can have a doctor's letter, I believe. But it's all on their website what you can and can't get one with. But yeah, don't feel bad. You can use it for character meets, you can use it for the parades, you can use it for on the rides. Like, don't feel bad about getting one. If you are eligible for one, get one. They're incredible. Any other ones? I think, one for me, Photo Pass, at a glance looks quite pricey.
Yeah.
But it's definitely worth it. If you're there for a week, I would say 5 days or more, definitely worth it. Just use it as much as you can.
Yeah.
Use it even if you don't really particularly like the photo, just definitely get it, because they're funny to look back on.
And you don't either have to print them off or pay for them off the website. You can just download them and keep them. So any you don't like, just delete anyway. So
yeah,
I mean, what we've done as well, I mean, if you go in a group, just buy the one photo pass, because in the box you get one card,
two key fobs and one main card, and that links to the one account. So what we did is we gave my mum's partner the card. My mum had a key fob on her lanyard, and we had a key fob. And so for the whole group of us, we had I think we worked out we had 115 pictures on it at the end.
Quite a lot.
And it was 50 quid, I think, when we did it.
60 euros.
At the moment it's 60 euros in the park. But it's definitely worth it, I would say. You're leaving me now, are you? But yeah, lots of tips. Maybe we could do a separate video one day on our Disney tips and tricks.
Or just a run through of how we book it, how we pack for it, how we plan our days. Let us know, what do you guys think?
Let us know if you would like that sort of video, but yeah.
Right, last page. So, favourite Disney item that you own?
I don't know, I've got so many. I would say a couple of really sentimental things are probably my favourites. Are a Little Mermaid Disney Traditions ornament that I got for my birthday a couple of years ago from my auntie. That's really beautiful. I got a glass rose the first year we went from Dan. He bought it for me and he said it's the only flower that you'll never be able to kill. And we got it from like the glass blowing shop down Main Street in Disneyland Paris, and it's beautiful in there. If you get a chance to go in there and have a little look round, even if you don't buy anything, there's usually someone at the front of the store like actually blowing the glass and making some things that you can stand and watch as well, which is really interesting. And also last year we got we saw them on Eleanor Dreaming's vlogs, the 25th anniversary padlocks. They're silver, and you get them in the glass in the shop opposite the Christmas shop in the castle, and you can get them engraved for free. So we got the 25th anniversary one just with the castle on it, and you can make a wish, like look it, make a wish, and throw the keys down the wishing well, or you can keep them.
Yeah, we kept our key.
We kept our key, didn't we?
Yeah.
But that's probably one of my favourite things,
Yeah,
just because it's
I'd
sentimental.
probably agree with that item, yeah.
What was your wedding like?
So surprisingly, it was non-Disney themed.
Yeah, nothing against people that do Disney themed weddings, because I have seen a few recently that I've actually looked at and gone, oh my god, I wish we had done that, because some of them are very brilliantly done, like beautifully, like the ideas that some people have, absolutely beautiful, and some of them are just absolutely gorgeous, but we didn't go for that, did we?
No.
We decided, well, first of all, we just had a colour that we liked, which was a bright turquoise colour.
Yeah, you kept calling it teal, but it's not.
Yeah, I kept saying teal, but they were completely different colours. And then we had a lady we hired a company to do all of the decor in the reception room, didn't we?
Yeah.
And she said, did you want to have any like theming on like your place cards or your like table plan or anything like that? And we sort of said, oh no, we haven't really got any ideas of what we could do, because we didn't want it to be like a tacky theme either.
We wanted it to be quite a
Subtle
grown-up
and
day.
grown up, yeah. and she said, "Oh, what about how did you guys get together?" So we told her the story, and we came up with a very subtle tattoo style sort of theme. It actually worked really, really well.
Yeah.
If we can, we'll insert a couple of pictures now. So yeah, it was quite subtle, but tattoo theme. We did I don't know why, if you're planning a wedding, please don't go on your honeymoon the day after you get married. We did the whole romantic, oh, that sounds like a great idea, let's go straight on our honeymoon. What a brilliant idea that would be. And we spent the whole trip to Gatwick and our flight there to
knackered.
Like this.
We didn't get home from the wedding reception until about 2 o'clock in the morning, the day basically we were going on our honeymoon.
Yeah.
We then had to be up at 7 o'clock in the morning to get from Swindon to Gatwick.
Which we've got a train.
Yeah, which luckily there is a train.
It's
If
a
you've got the
direct
train, yeah, there's a train that brings you straight into Gatwick Airport. So we got that, but it was just still a massively long day. And then
what we didn't realise is quite how far our hotel was away from where the airport was. We went to Croatia on our honeymoon, but we stayed on a small island called Bol.
like the island's called Bratch.
It's called, called Bratch, and in a very tiny part of it called Bol. And so basically, when we got to the airport, we thought it would be an adventure and didn't plan any.
We roughly knew how to get there, but we didn't book any of it.
We didn't book any transfers or anything like that because we thought, oh, what a romantic adventure this would be. So we went to the airport. We then got a bus from the airport to the like port, like docking port. We then missed the ferry, so we had to wait
like 5 minutes.
3 hours for the next ferry. We met someone called Mr. and Mrs. Christmas, which next to Disney, Christmas is our thing.
Yeah.
So we saw that as a very good thing and kind of clung on to them. We had to get the boat 3 hours later with Mr. and Mrs. Christmas from Split to Bratch.
It's like a 40-minute ferry ride, so it's not quick.
Yeah, it's like a big ferry ride, P&O style. And then from the port in Bratch, we then had to get a taxi for another 45 minutes across the other side of the island, up and down these massive rocky hills and roads that were about this close to mountain edges.
The ferry drops you off in the southeast of the island, and we were in the northwest.
Yeah.
So we basically had to cross country.
We didn't realise quite how far away it was looking back now, but it was an amazing adventure.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
And we had an incredible honeymoon, but looking back, we'd probably plan it a bit better.
Yeah.
Well, our wedding was beautiful. We had a lovely time. Wasn't stressful. It wasn't a very regimented affair. We got married in a registry office. I had friends doing all my hair and makeup. It wasn't like a big thing. We didn't want it to be a big thing. We had our nearest and dearest. We had a lovely meal, and just like a DJ in the evening, and it was just really nice and relaxed. So that's what our wedding was like.
So the next question is, what made you decide to get a dog?
You got bored of me asking you?
We always wanted to get a dog. I grew up with dogs. You had dogs when you were younger in your family.
Yeah.
So we both always wanted one.
My pussycat was getting old.
Yeah.
Bless her.
And I think you were getting quite lonely during the day as well. With Mitzi getting older, she kind of just spent most of her day just upstairs lying around. So a bit of companionship more than anything, wasn't it?
Yeah, companionship, and also we wanted to get a dog that we could possibly train as a assistance dog, mainly as a pet, but one that would be able to provide tasks for me if I was to go out with it by myself, which has been quite successful so far.
Yeah.
She is still in the training stages and will probably be, because you learn things, don't you?
All the time,
All the time. But so far it's been very successful, and I wouldn't change her for the absolute world.
The sort of things that she does aren't necessarily like, opening doors or pressing buttons at the lights. It's more
Not like
emotional support.
Yeah, not like big dog assistant dogs. Assistance dogs can be any shape or size. It just depends what you need them for.
Yeah.
So a lot of people look at me and her in her uniform if she's out with me by myself, and sort of question her, like why is she an assistance dog? She's tiny, what could she do for you? Actually, what they don't know is that she picks up on my anxiety attacks before they come and does a lot of different things for me. So I could do a video on that as well if you wanted, but it's a bit long-winded to go into details about it now. But yeah, it was just time, and I needed a bit of companionship basically. What was your engagement like? I changed this question because the question said, how did Dan propose?
I didn't.
I did. So I changed the question to, what was your engagement like? So basically I had been saying for a while, will you marry me?
We discussed
will you marry
marriage
me? Will you
quite a lot,
marry me?
haven't we?
Yeah, and he was going,
One day.
one day. And then one day he came in from work and I had cooked
You were in the middle of cooking dinner, weren't you?
In the middle of cooking dinner, hadn't had a shower yet, I just finished work. This was a good few years back. I had a pair of your tracksuit bottoms on.
Baggy t-shirt.
A baggy t-shirt. I don't think I even had a bra on. I looked an absolute state. And he came in from work and gave me a kiss, and he got down on one knee, and inside my heart was racing, and I thought, why would he propose to me when I look like a slob? Why would he do this to me? Why would this be the memory forever? And he knelt down on one knee, looked up into my eyes, took my wedding ring hand and said,
I've got a question to ask you.
Got a question to ask you, babe. How long will dinner be? I've never hit him so hard in my
Chased me
entire
all the way up
life.
the stairs.
I literally could have slaughtered him. And ever since then, I kept going, so you're going to propose to me now then? When are we going to get married? And he would go, yeah, one day. And it had kind of been on the cards for a while,
Yeah.
but we were just waiting for the right time, I guess. And we arranged.
Well, I'd always said as well that I never wanted to get engaged and then just stay engaged for a while. I wanted to be in a position where if we're going to get engaged, it would be with the intention of financially, we're engaged now because we can afford to get married.
In like a year,
Yeah.
basically. We didn't want a long engagement as a couple. And it had kind of been on the cards for quite some time, and we arranged a Christmas up with your family, which we hadn't done before. It was like my first Christmas with his family. And I was already petrified about it anyway, because I'd never had a Christmas away from my family. And I thought to myself, why don't I make it even more petrifying? And bought a ring, asked his mum on Christmas Eve while she were doing some bits and bobs upstairs. And then Christmas Day I asked him to marry me and he said yes, so that's how we got engaged.
But what I later told you as well
is that if I had waited 6 more months
till her birthday, which ultimately would have been her 21st as well,
he was going to do it anyway.
I already had it in my head that I was going to propose on her 21st. She couldn't wait.
She couldn't wait. So I'm pretty good. I love the way we did it. I love this. I love the story, and like when people go, "How did you propose to Dan?" and we always go, "Actually, she did." I really like that, but at the same time in my head, I would really like to know how it would have gone down had you have done it.
One of the questions I often get asked as well is, "Oh, does it bother you that she proposed to you?" Not in the slightest. Why should it? Like,
21st century.
Who cares who proposes to who? At the end of the day,
and people
the end result is still the same.
And people said to me as well, like, "Oh, is it because it was the leap year? You should have waited until New Year because it was the leap year and blah blah blah." And I thought, why? Like, we love Christmas. Christmas is our time of year. Like, we love it. We get really into it, and it's always been quite a romantic time of year for us. And we've got a lot of really, really lovely memories at Christmas.
Yeah.
And I thought, why wait until the new year when I can do it now? So that's how we did it. Last few questions. Number 18 is...
This is my question.
Dan's question. What are each other's favourite Disney Easter eggs?
So one thing that I'm obsessed with Disney,
literally obsessed,
is how cleverly they hide things in their films. And if you've never noticed any of these, like, jump on Google and search Disney Easter eggs. They're literally everywhere. And I think one of my, not answering this question, but one of the most fascinating ones for me is in every Pixar film, it's a Pizza Planet truck.
And we always search for it. Whoever like gets it first, like, we're always really competitive about it.
And we don't Google search where it is. If we watch a new Pixar film,
like, I can't wait to see the new Incredibles film and find the Pizza Planet truck. I can't wait.
I've still not found it in the first Incredibles film either. Apparently it's really hard to find. So if you have found it, please tell me where it is.
Yeah, let us know where it is. But what's your favourite Easter egg?
So my favourite Easter egg...
It's quite a recent find.
It is a recent find. And I've not found this online either, so I don't know how many people have actually found it.
Yeah.
Because I looked online at the Easter eggs for this film before I watched it recently. We watched it a few days ago again.
2 days ago. We've been re-watching all of our favourite films because Dan's been off work ill with his operation.
Yeah, it's been difficult for me to get out and about, so it's a prime time to catch up on Disney films. So we watched Cars 2 the other day. Obviously we watched Cars 1 and Cars 3 either side of that, but we were watching Cars 2. And in there's a part where, because obviously it's a Grand Prix and they're going to different countries, there's a part where they go to Paris, and there is a scene where they go around this roundabout
where there's a fountain in the middle.
And there's Gusteau's restaurant
from Ratatouille,
which is like one of my favourite films anyway. But they've changed the name of it to Gastos, G-A-S gas, and Toes, T-O-W-S. I just thought it was brilliant. A, because I found it and I've not seen that anywhere online before, and B, just because it's amazing.
Picture the scene.
Yeah.
We're sat here watching it. I sat chilled out on the sofa over where the camera is, and Dan's here. He literally jumped out of his seat as fast as he could, like with an operation, and went, Gusteau's! I was like, what? And he rewound it, and he had to pause it and go, look, it's Gusteau's! And we couldn't find anything about it online, but it has the same logo, and there's the fountain.
It's the same place, it's exactly the same place.
On the roundabout. And it is, but it's changed it to gas and then like tomato.
And I've recently found today, before filming this, we watched Wally over breakfast. We found flounder. Yeah,
flounder is in Wally's little place where he keeps all of his finds. Ham. My favourite Easter egg is in Moana when you see Baymax and Flounder during one of the songs where all of the Kakamora come and attack the ship. You can see Baymax as one of the Kakamora heads, and also during one of the songs, Flounder jumps
You're
from
welcome.
one side.
It's during You're Welcome.
Yeah, it is. It's during You're Welcome, during the sort of like drawn bits.
So there's a scene where
And
you
it
get
flies
fish
from one side of the
go
screen
left,
to the other.
right to left, and then there's more fish that go up the screen. Where the fish go up the screen, if you've got the ability to either pause it or slow-mo it, one of the fish there is flounder.
But it's so quick, you have to.
Yeah,
like,
you won't see it if you just play it. You do have to slow it down or pause it.
But because Flounder's my fave, obviously saw him. But Baymax is probably my favourite little Easter egg in the world.
Yeah, I am obsessed with Pixar Easter eggs.
We can't sit and watch a film. We have to. He's like, oh babe, did you see that?
Study it. You have to study it.
Oh, but look, there's a. Did you see that? Oh, babe, get off your phone. Did you see that? So irritating.
Coco is actually another really good one. It's full of Easter eggs.
Yeah, it's full of them.
Full of them. We found Mike Wazowski in
Buzz
there.
and Woody.
Buzz and Woody. There's an Incredibles poster. There's the Monsters Inc. M logo.
And the Monsters University logo
Yeah.
as well.
Piece of Planet Truck's in there because it's always a Pixar film.
There's loads of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's full of them.
But yeah, you're a bit of an Easter eggs.
Yeah, I love
fan,
hunting for
aren't
them.
you? So number 19? Yeah.
Yep.
Was my question. And do you like overall prefer traditional Disney films like pre-2000 or like newer Disney movies?
I think as a Pixar fan, I would probably say newer. And also, I mean, how many times am I saying to you, oh, look at the picture quality on that. So that we've got like a 4K telly. So Lydia, she's just like, oh, it's a telly, I don't care. But I love it when a new film comes out, like when Coco came out, for example, and then it was released. Lydia just wanted to buy it on DVD, but I had to get it on Blu-ray because I knew the picture quality would be immense. So for me, new ones, and also not just because of the picture quality and animation, I do prefer the storylines.
I can't pick. There's some that I really like traditional, like Peter Pan and obviously Little Mermaid.
What about Punzi though?
But yeah, then obviously what do I do with my second gal? So I can't pick.
You just love Disney.
I just love Disney.
She loves the Disney, she does.
Disney is life. Number 20. Will your future kids be Disney fans too? No.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, we've always said like we will never force anything upon our children. We'll let them kind of become their own people. But
we are firm believers in letting people find their own way in life as long as they are happy. You know, like for instance, it's like Pride Month this month, and we are big believers in like love is love. And,
oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Age, race, gender, sex, religion, like it doesn't matter to us as long as people are happy. And that will be one of the things that we really instill into our children. But if they're Disney fans, then obviously that's a bonus.
I mean, I think it will be difficult for them not to be, just because they are going to be brought up around it from quite an early age.
I'd quite like their first holiday to be Disneyland Paris. And finally, the last question in our Q&A is probably the most important question. Charlie from @DisneyBeanie asked if she could be Poppy's honorary auntie, and the answer is yes. Anyone can be her. She's got a lot of auntie and uncles, hasn't she? Bless her. Poppy, do you wanna come here? Come here. Are you gonna show me up now?
She's not having none of it.
What's this?
She's like, it is way too hot for this.
She's so hot. Let me get her.
Skip scene. And we're back.
Poppy, can Charlie from Disney Beanie, Charlie, yeah, can she be your honorary Disney auntie? Can she?
She could look up at Disney pictures,
Yeah.
so
I think she said yes.
I reckon that's a yes.
But yeah, no licking. So thank you so much for all of your questions, guys. We appreciated that we just needed a bit of a week off vlogging.
Yeah.
To recover. But we will be back next week, hopefully.
Yeah, I think probably next week we'll try to see if we can get a proper weekly vlog up. I am still recovering, so it's difficult to get out and about because obviously Lydia relies on a scooter and I'm not allowed to lift anything, so getting it in and out of the car and things like that is quite difficult. And just as a side note as well, I do want to say thank you for everyone that sent any messages or anything to Lydia, just wishing me well on that, so you know, it does mean a lot.
Yeah, we had loads, didn't we? It was very lovely. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and let us know if you like this sort of thing. We can always do a few more. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.